There, good to see you and thank you for clicking. Now, on this video, I'm going to share with you 5 amazing signs that you grew up in poverty. There is no problem with that, but the problem is that those signs are actually holding you back in terms of development and growth without you knowing. What are these signs that are actually holding you back in terms of your development? And by the way, some of these signs are with majority of us and they do not have an information until now. All what you need to do is to sit back, relax, watch this video to the end so that you understand exactly what is Good Joseph trying to mean on this video. All what you need to do, and by the way, I usually post a video each and every day. So if you don't want to miss any piece of my good videos in future, this is what you do. It is free and it is fast. It doesn't cost you anything. Down below there on your right, there is a small button written subscribe. It is in black. Hit that magical button, like this video, turn that notification bell, comment down below because I also know you have something that I can as well learn from you. And by doing exactly that, a whole YouTube will notify you when I upload a new good video. So right, so let's get into today's business. Now, what are these amazing 5 signs for you that actually shows up that you grew up in poverty and it's actually holding you back? Very first sign is that you have an anger on money, all right? It's called a tongue biting, meaning like you're this kind of an individual who you always say like, guess what? Once I get that money, this is what I'm gonna do. And this is the reason as to why, because I grew up in poverty. I was not even affording this. I wasn't even able to eat good. I wasn't even dressing good and all those kind of things. You have anger with money. And this anger is actually translated to other different things. Probably, let's say you have not actually done good in life. You're still struggling here and there. You tend to blame a lot of people here and there. You say like, hey, it is because of the rich people. That's why I do not have money. It is because of my parents. Maybe they could have done something a little bit. Maybe I couldn't have this kind of life, or maybe something of sort. Or whenever you get money, there you are, you have the anger about that money and you always feel like, guess what? I'm supposed to treat myself. I am supposed to be happy. I am supposed to do all those things. So you kind of revolve around anger, or you have anger towards that money. And this is the most sign that you usually see with people who actually grew up in poverty and they have never shared that actually influence, because that influence can actually hold you back in terms of growth. Because let me tell you one secret. When it comes to growing or wealth or actually becoming rich, it requires some sort of a sacrifice in between. So whenever you hear somebody is telling you to sacrifice some things, maybe you can sacrifice an year for the sake of 10 or 15 or 30, you feel like, wow. Then whatever you grew up on, the experience that you have pertaining the past, there you are, you get frustrated and you feel, hey, you know what? This time to be happy, this time to do some things, this time to do this, all because you're doing what we call the tongue biting. You're so bitter. You're so bitter with money. Actually, I think that's the best term. You are so bitter with money and how or what it's supposed to do, all right? And probably the reason as to why you are so, because you do not have what we call the financial literacy. I mean, for God's sake, who taught you about finance? Because where you grew up from, nobody knew much about the money. If they knew, then maybe they could be somewhere or something of sort. And guess what? The point number 2 kind of intermarries the point number 1. And what is it? It's about you are emotional with money. Most of your money decision makings are actually emotionally instigated, or actually you make emotional decision. What does it mean? Have you ever met people who say, hey, you know what? Life is short. Life is for the living. I know those kind of things. You have kupiga sherehe and all those kind of terms. Actually, you realize the reason as to why these people are saying that, it is because they tend to make emotional decisions based on the money. And let me tell you one secret. There are 2 organs, very amazing organs that we have in our body that are responsive to money, all right? Number 1, we have our brain, and number 2, we have our heart. And guess what? Those 2 organs are actually antagonists. They contradict each other. What does it mean? Take this example. At the end of the month, you get paid. Then what clicks in is like, hey, you know what? That was a tough month. That was really a tough month. And guess what? This is what I'm going to do for me. I'm going to take myself to a vacation. Maybe if you live in Kenya, say you're going to take yourself to Coast or Mombasa, get yourself to beaches because you want to get happy and swim and all those kind of things. And you say, hey, you know what? I saw a certain dress and it's very nice. I saw a certain car. I won't buy that car and all those kind of things without even actually involving the logic inside of it. So you make emotional based money decisions. And that particular point is whereby after getting your salary, after sometimes you'll be like, wow, maybe let's say at your 15th or 16th date, you're like, wow, where does my money go? Now you're taking pen and paper, trying to track back where has your money been and where have actually been putting your money. And by the way, let me tell you one secret. Whenever you realize that you squandered your money, that's the time now the brain comes in, the logic comes in. And then you're like, fine. You know what? I don't think that was the best appropriate decision that I've ever made on that. This is what I'm gonna do. Immediately after getting my second salary, I'm gonna start on money market fund, because Good Joseph has been talking about investing on money market fund. He has been talking about treasury bills, treasury bonds. I'm gonna start myself a conventional business. Hey, guess what? I'm gonna buy myself an asset like a land or something of sort. Now the logic is kicking in, because the previous decision that you made initially was an emotional based decision. At that particular point, that's the time you realize, like, hey, you know what? I think I'm not doing the appropriate or the right thing when it comes to money. That is what we call an emotional based decision when it comes to money. So at the other occasion, once you get money, try to engage your brain and not your heart, because in most cases, heart will direct you into making the things that are actually based on your feelings. I am feeling to do this, I am feeling to do this. And guess what? In most decisions that we make in life, and all life is largely logical, is you to think about it, and then if it's about love, it's about relationship, it's about all those kinds of things, it's okay, you can engage your heart. But when it comes to money, solely, I would advise you to engage your logic. With logic, in most cases, I'm not saying that you cannot go wrong, but in most cases, the number of wrongs that you can go on to, if I can frame it that way, are way down below. Point number 3, you still don't believe that you have a strain, or rather, you still don't believe that you already make it in life. That's the point. And guess what? You only prove. Have you ever been in a situation whereby you feel like, are these people aware that I bought myself a very nice Mercedes Benz? Are these people aware that, you know what, I'm building my new home? Huh? Are these people aware that, guess what, I grew up in poverty? I mean, I should explain to them. I mean, I should let them know. I should let them know. Man, that's why you spoilers on the WhatsApp status telling us, hey, I was on vacation in Maldives. Guess what? I bought myself a G-Wagon Mercedes Benz. Guess what? I'm building my new home. And guess what? I surprised my mom with a new car worth 20 million. Guess what? All those kind of. These people, largely, they may look as if they're okay, but honestly speaking, there is a certain disease that they suffer from. That's a reality. I know this point may be debated more and more and all those kinds of occasions, but the point is this: there is a certain distress that this individual they usually suffer from. It's like they have never understood, or they're not settled inside of themselves. And by the way, the question is this: have you ever seen these billionaires and those ultra wealthy individuals ever flossing or exposing their properties out there? You'll never see them. Actually, they try as much as they can to hide from you. Actually, they try to make it look as if they do not have, but they do. But this money is trying to kick in. There you are, spoiling everybody, buying yourself expensive gifts. There is no problem with buying expensive gifts, by the way. The problem is when you buy the expensive gifts and there you are trying to bring people on board, make them part of your life, and try to show them, hey, you know what, I can actually afford this expensive gift, and this is why I'm doing exactly that thing. And guess what? That's a character, and it kind of goes back to you making emotional decision, kind of goes back to you having an anger or bitter life towards money. That's a reality, and that's a fact out there. And guess what? This is my disclaimer. I did not say buying expensive gifts, it's a wrong thing. It is never a wrong thing. It's an amazing thing. The only problem is this: it's going an overboard, trying to bring other people on board. You never know who is watching you. Some people have actually slept hungry. Some people are actually suffering in one way or the other, because this world is actually way unequal in terms of our development. So if you keep on holding that character inside of you just because you never actually afforded that thing back when you were growing up, this can actually deter you. It can expose yourself to manipulation. It can expose yourself to some buggery, thievery, and all those kind of things. So it's actually good to be very careful what decision that you make as you progress. Guess what? Now that point graduates us to point number 4. And by the way, thank you for keep on watching this video, and thank you very much. Don't forget to hit that like button as well as subscribing, so that you don't miss any of my good future video. Okay, let's go to point number 4. It's about you indulge yourself into food and you lose control of your body. Have you ever seen yourself, and this is where you are? Maybe you never afforded to take like meat. Yeah, I know in Africa taking meat is like a big thing, or eating like chapatis, or okay, there are those should I say, like those rare food that you never afforded back when you were growing up. Now there you are, you have the money, you can afford them. You eating them uncontrollably. You eat anything and everything that you get on your way, provided it looks expensive, looks nice, you even disregard what we call the health aspect of your life. You take a lot of junky food, you take much of your sugary products, you take much of your things that are so much processed, to a point whereby now you attract what we call the non-communicable diseases, like of the diabetes, likes of the cancers, and what have you. So the point is this: you lose control. And let me tell you one secret. A time will come, you can only realize that health is wealth when you're in hospital. That's the time you realize if you can be told to actually give half of what you own to exchange better health, you you'd rather go that route. But I know this message may not be able to sync with majority of people, especially if you're healthy, and that's where life is. But guess what? If you have that capability, get this message. It is good to make sure that you control what you eat, how you eat, and when you eat, because at that particular point, you not only have yourself a good health, but also you have a wealth retained with you. And guess what? The best thing that you can ever do in life is to stay as long as you can, to enjoy that what you've actually earned out there, rather than you shortening your life based on how you feel and what you call the impulsive buyings and impulsive decisions and such kind of things. There we are now with the point number 5, spending money faster than you make it. This is a problem with majority of people, and I always give a very simple example. You're taking a whole of 30 days to earn yourself a salary of 60,000 or 100,000. But there you are, you're spending the same salary with less than 15 days. There is a problem with you. Absolutely, there is a problem with you, because you're supposed to take longer period compared to the period that you took back when you were actually making that money. Because at the end of the day, if you're actually using 30 days to make money, there you are now using 15 days to consume the entire of it, then you're gonna get yourself into problems, because you're gonna do what we call the catch up. The very first beginning of the success when it comes to money is when you exactly spend a little bit longer than the period that you made. That means that you can assure yourself that by the time next salary is kicking in, you already have something inside of your shelf, and you're not gonna borrow, and you're gonna get yourself into unhealthy loans and such kind of things. All right, that's the point that you're supposed to consider at all the occasions. So spending money faster than you make it, it's actually a recipe for a disaster in future as far as the money is concerned. Make sure as you try as much as you can. And by the way, I did add you a bonus of point number 6, being an impulsive buyer. Yeah, you buy anything and everything once you get it. You have the money, the thing is available, why don't you buy it? You have the thing, you buy this, some of them are not even necessary at that particular occasion. And guess what? I don't want to make this video a longer one. That's the end of my video. Guess what? Perhaps you're out there, you're a bit confused, you do not know how and when to invest. I have myself booklets about investments, money management skills, and all those kind of things. All what you need to do is grab my number from the description of this specific video, give me a call, text me on WhatsApp, and by doing that exactly, you get a copy. A copy, it's only 280 Kenyan shillings. And if you would like to get myself a consultation and such, it's just for a cup of coffee. For now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one.